A woman in need of financial assistance sacrificed her own meal for an elderly, shabbily dressed man emanating the scent of the streets. Much to her astonishment, the proprietor of the restaurant rushed to the elderly gentleman and embraced him warmly. What unfolded next left the woman utterly flabbergasted. Natalie diligently juggled 2 jobs to cover her college tuition expenses. Her days were a demanding routine of morning classes followed by waitressing in the afternoon and janitorial duties late into the night. On a particular day, she found herself utterly drained after an overnight cleaning shift necessitated by an unruly guest at the inn where she was employed. Natalie had worked tirelessly to scrub floors and dispose of the mess left behind by the guest, leaving her yearning for a well-deserved meal. Following a morning filled with demanding classes, she made her way to the cafeteria. There, she took advantage of her employee discount, treating herself to a mouth-watering bowl of pasta, an indulgence she rarely allowed herself, as she typically strived to save every possible penny. "Here you go, Natalie. Enjoy. I made the serving a bit bigger for you." Her co-worker winked as she handed her the bowl of pasta. "Thanks, Mia. You didn't have to, but I appreciate it. It was a rough night," she said, trying to make small talk. As she was about to feed herself, an old smelly man in ripped clothes swung the cafeteria doors open. Other patrons looked at the man with disgust and covered their noses. "That stench is unbearable," one woman loudly said. "Can I have something to eat and drink?" the old man said, approaching the counter. The manager made his way there and shook his head. "Do you have money to pay for food?" he mockingly asked the old man. The old man looked confused for a couple of seconds before the manager spoke again. "You obviously don't have the money," he said. "Get out of here. You're distracting our customers with your smell." Natalie felt bad for the old man. He looked weak, like he hadn't had anything decent to eat in a while. Before he could leave the cafeteria, she approached him and told him to sit at her table. "Please, sit down," she told him. The man sat down in front of her, and she slid her pasta bowl toward him. "You can have my meal," Natalie said. "Let me get you a bottle of water," she added, standing up to buy a bottle from the counter. She could feel her manager's gaze as she walked to the counter. "Why are you helping that smelly old man?" he asked. "My late grandmother taught me that if I'm in a position to help someone in need, I should do it. I won't die if I don't eat that pasta plate, but that man looks famished. If he doesn't eat, we won't know how long it'll take before he faints and gets sick," Natalie explained. Natalie watched as the man ate the food in a hurry. When he was halfway through the meal, the restaurant owner arrived and asked the manager about the smell. In an instant, the manager blamed Natalie. "This smelly homeless man came in. I tried to shoo him away, but Natalie offered her lunch to him, and now the man's still here. I'm sorry, sir. I should have done a better job kicking him out," he explained. The owner turned toward the old man, and what happened next stunned everyone in the restaurant. He ran towards the man and embraced him tightly. "Dad," he cried, "I've been looking for you for weeks. Where have you been?" he asked. The manager's face turned pale. "Dad?" He knew he had made a terrible mistake and was starting to play out several scenarios in his head. "I was lost, and then I saw this restaurant and I knew it looked familiar." "I was right, it was your restaurant," the old man explained. "That girl over there, she helped me." He pointed toward Natalie. "Everyone was trying to kick me out, even the manager, but this girl asked me to sit down and she gave me her food." The restaurant owner took his father home so he could rest and freshen up. After a few hours, he returned to the restaurant while Natalie was working her shift. She called her into his office and thanked her for what she did. "I've always prayed for God to give me employees like you who are passionate about what they do and are compassionate towards other people. Thank you for helping my dad out. Even though you didn't know who he was, I've decided to promote you to branch manager," he declared. "I know you're a working student, so I've upped your salary so that you don't need to work 2 jobs anymore. Use your evenings to rest. How does that sound?" Natalie was in tears by then. She was having such a hard time juggling school and her 2 jobs, and the opportunity to quit one without losing money was too good to be true. "You'd really do that for me, sir?" she asked him. Her boss affirmed with a nod. "Indeed, I want to ensure you have ample time to concentrate on your studies. Balancing 2 jobs isn't conducive to your academic success. You should resign from the other position and continue your regular shifts here, but this time as a manager. It's well deserved." Natalie felt a surge of gratitude toward her boss for the promotion. This change in her role granted her more personal time, enabling her to thrive academically while finding fulfillment in her job. Meanwhile, the former manager endured a harsh lesson when he was dismissed from his position. The boss conveyed that he failed to meet the company's standards for what it means to be a good employee, leaving him with these words: